All right, boys, go ahead and continue on with your presentation. Nice job.
All right, so as we've am I on mute? No. Okay, so as we just explained that we're mask holders, Luke and myself came up with a problem because both of us are on athletic sports teams. I myself play basketball. Luke swims for our school, and I in the season of cross country, because I also run cross country, we would always be at meets and stuff, and everyone would just be throwing their masks around, and there wouldn't be any place to put them, and then people would pick them back up and use them again. So I came across this problem at my meets, and Luke can attest. Whenever he's at his swim meets, it's the same problem with the masks. They're just everywhere. Bacteria gets on them. They're wrinkly, and you often lose them. So we came up with a solution for mask holders.
Mask holders. It's a rectangular prism that holds your mask, and you can clip it onto anything like purses, wallet. You can store it in little back parts of your car, and it has an antimicrobial fiber that goes on the inside, so it can keep your mask completely clean.
So our financing, our cost structure of mask holders. First, we explained that we 3D print mask holders. Well, Luke already has our 3D printer, and we also have the ability to 3D print at school, which we've used both opportunities. And right now, we're actually printing our final product from the school 3D printer, and that's going to be done by Wednesday. Another thing is printing right now. If we were to accumulate for the price of 3D printing, it would be $2.50 for each mask. But going through outlets like the school, there's no cost for printing. It's completely free. So we really don't have that $2.50 price to print. Then the filament rolls that we use for the plastic called polypropylene is $50 to buy, which we've bought. And the filament for one mask holder is 66 cents. So the plastic that we take from the roll to actually make one mask holder is 66 cents worth of that roll. And then we also are packaging through these custom boxes that Luke can describe to you.
We found a website called uprinting.com, and it makes custom boxes for a cheap price for $2 to $5, and they fit the size perfectly for our mask holders.
So then that comes up with our total cost of $5.10, and we will be selling mask holders at $7. But at that rate, again, we're not taking away the $2.50 price for printing. That is completely free for us. And yeah, I mean, right now that's a great way to start, and we're also looking to start selling by next month. So our Tam Sam and Some, we're looking to sell just locally currently, and that's 1.1 million people in Allegheny County, excluding anyone that's 18. And then we kind of narrowed it down a bit, so we want to target colleges and hospitals at first, and that's our addressable market. And then we even narrowed it down a little bit more to see who is going to be our early adopters, which we think is a safe bet to say that hospitals will be adopting mask holders the earliest of all of our customers. So then our positioning statement, we're looking to sell from anyone between ages of 15 to 24 because that's whenever they're most active in their life period. And that's whenever they may go out for a run and they need a place to put their mask. And instead of just shoving it in their pocket, they may use a mask holder. And with the clip, it's easy to run around with, you're not going to lose your mask holder like you may losing your mask just throwing it in your pocket and then it falling out. Yeah. And then another reason why we started mask holders is just because of the whole situation we're in right now as a society. Safety is definitely one of the number one priorities in in society. So it just kind of made sense with this whole mask holder idea to kind of benefit the general well-being of everyone, So then there's not that much competition out there either. There's something called a mask keeper, which it has a patented design, which you can see on the left. But the thing about this is it's actually a Chinese manufacturer, which is kind of hypocritical if you think about it. And they can't sell anyone in the United States or over in Europe. So it's only exclusively for people living in China and any of the Asian countries or areas. And then on your right, you see Scullies. Like Scullies, you don't need a mask holder for because you can just pull it off of your nose or your neck, and then it just hangs around your neck. So you really don't need a mask holder for that.
Unique value proposition. It's really simple and easy, and you can customize it to whatever color, or we'll have engravings. And what we're thinking for one of our early adopters would be UPMC to have purple and white mask holders that would have their logo. For the design and manufacturing, it's made out of this plastic that's really durable and bendy, and it can be 3D printed, and you can even put it in your microwave. I don't know why anybody would, but that's how durable it is. 3D model, it's like just, really simple, just a round rectangle with a hole that you can slip your mask in and then the clip. The customization, it's about like 7 inches in length and like 3 inches wide, so it can fit right into your pocket or clip onto it. And you can have any color and any design, sticker or engraving.
Now let's just note that a mask holder in your pocket is a little smaller than your phone, and you may think that's pretty big, but again, this is bendable and it's very comfortable to fit inside your pocket. So then one of the last things that we have to present to you guys is our website, which we're super, super happy to talk to you guys about because it's super exciting. Our website right now is going live Wednesday, and that's not because of us. That's just because of the back-end difficulties that the web hosting site that we used is having. But I'll show you a few pictures from our website. I know it's a little hard to see, but that's about the website right now. You can go on Wednesday. You can pre-order your mask holder. You can scroll through the different designs and pick out if you want a blue mask holder or a red mask holder or a green mask holder. It's all there, and you can either engraving. We can do an engraving, and you can go on and write your name on the mask holder, whatever it may be, and we can manufacture it and ship it to you for a cost of only $7. So that's our presentation for you. We thank everyone that listened, and of course, we thank Ben Fisher. That's our mentor, great guy. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, I would love to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Luke and Kyler. We're going to try to go through, we will go through each one of the Board of Advisors to ask a question that you have for the boys so one of them can answer for you. So we can, yes.
I have one thing. I want to show them what it looks like because I have it on me.
Go ahead.
I want to give them a better image of it.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is one of our prototypes. It's kind of big and chunky right now, but we've modeled it to where it'd be smaller. As you can tell, there's like a clip. You can clip it on the stuff, and then your mask will slip right into it, and it keeps it clean.
Okay. All right, so we'll start with, we'll go in this order every single time. We can do Mrs. Weir, Mr. Stepakis, and then we'll go Mr. DeSalvo, and then Ms. Thornburg.
So I'm up first, Lisa. This is Christina. To ask
Yes.
questions. Right. Okay.
Yep.
So first off, guys, I think you did a really good job. I really understood the idea generation, like where that came from, the problem you're trying to solve. I think that it was really accurate, and I really like that you took inspiration from our own current circumstance, right? Adversity is I'm probably going to get this quote wrong, but I like to say adversity is the grandfather of innovation. So I think it's a great idea. Just a couple questions I have for you. So can you tell me a little bit around, you mentioned like your current run rate would be pretty minimal because you're going to plan to use resources that exist in the school. I would just one, piece of feedback there. I actually would probably think about a longer term piece of that, because if you start with that to get your MVP out and then it really takes off, you obviously can't continue to rely on the school for your 3D printer. You're going to have to think about probably a mid and a longer term plan around that. So it's nice that you have access to those free resources for now. And I think that's a great first step to get your MVP out there. But to actually start to get out there and put it into targeted customer segments, I would say you probably want to think about an operating plan that includes equipment purchases, because it's a minimal investment at the end of the day. The 3D printers are becoming pretty commoditized. So that's just one comment. I guess the second question I have, that was a comment, this is more of a question. So can you tell me a little bit around the evolution of your customer segment? Because I definitely see the upside and the value proposition to the individual. I'm trying to understand that value proposition to the hospitals. Like I'm trying to understand that connection, because they're actually two different customer segments. One is an organizational customer segment. The other one is, direct to consumer. And those are kind of two different paths. So maybe you guys could talk me through that just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So originally we wanted to just sell to consumers overall and just like as a business to consumer ratio, but instead we went through our 100 problem interviews and just decided not to target just individuals specifically. Instead, we wanted to think about our early adopters and who they may be, which it's easy to say that colleges and hospitals would be a great first step towards or like a good base for early adopters and customers. So we were thinking hospitals go through tons and tons of disposable masks. And if we can come up with a way for them to limit the usage of these disposable masks, because not all disposable masks are environmentally friendly, if we can figure out a way for them to limit the cost of, number one, spending money on disposable masks or masks in general, and if we can create a product that is valuable towards specifically hospitals, we were thinking that's why hospitals would love or would be our first early adopters, because it's something that would limit their costs,
Okay. I think that's great. Thank you for explaining that. I'd say then one other piece then to further refine this would be to look at the average amount of money that a hospital spends on this types of equipment during the pandemic. And I think you need to break that out and get a little bit specific on equipment, because depending on the service line, some staff are using N95s and really expensive equipment. And then there's another part of staff that's using a disposable mask. So I think you need to think through that sort of piece of it, like kind of further segment within the segment. But I would also try to look at just how that's impacted hospital operations and budgets overall, because there is obviously a lot of money going towards this type of supply today. And the other thing that I would just think of too, and this is just more future state, how long is the life on this, right? Because if we get past a pandemic, the hospitals will try to return to some normal operations. And it's not to say that we'll ever go back to completely unmasked, being unmasked in the hospital space, but just to think through that a little bit. But I think overall, a really, really nice job.
Yeah. So just some last comments to go on that. So first, we of course there's the American segment, customer segment that we're talking about, right? I mean, legitimately, we're not going to be selling to people overseas, right? As just a business class, selling mask holders. But if you want to look into those types of things, like, yeah, we may not have masks. We may not wear masks on the daily in 2 years. But right now, this is something that's kind of like a little niche, that we can, maybe benefit from, maybe not, but either way, we'll learn from it. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was you were talking about like research a little into if it's actually valuable for hospitals to use. Well, we researched into that actually, and we came up with I wish I put it on the presentation, but it was actually a research study where they did swabs on the masks of hospital employees and workers, right? Mm-hmm. And they came back with astounding percentages of bacteria that were on these masks that they were reusing in these hospitals. So that's another reason why we decided to continue with our idea for mask holders instead of switching it up and changing to a different product.
All right. Nice job, guys.
Guys, it's Nick. First and foremost, I thought you guys did a really nice job. I really liked your confidence and your speaking. A lot of times, as I've done this before in the past, I think that's one of the things that I've seen that people could have really worked on is their confidence in their presentation. And like you guys sold it, like you believed in it, and it was something you wanted to do, which to me is like, if you can get that right, sometimes the content is less important when you have that good presentation and that confidence. So great job. One of the things I wanted to ask about, can you tell me, Christina made some good points about segmentation. There was one slide where you said like 15 to 24. I'd be curious to understand that a little bit more, because what I see when I go out isn't a lot of those 15 to 24-year-olds wearing disposable masks. So I'm not really sure that's the segment that I would be targeting. I really liked your B2B idea. And it might not be direct care workers, but a lot of those secondary staff, I think if you could look at, and Christina mentioned this, cost savings analysis, like, hey, we think by using our product, you would be able to take this mask that typically you're wearing for 4 hours and you're just, twice a day, you'd be able to use that mask for 2 days, which over a year would save your company X amount of dollars. But my question is, when you talked about pricing, I was curious how you came up with your margin. Because I was trying to think like, one, I guess my first question is, how many can you make per hour using the printers that you're talking about using? And then how did you come up with your margin for your price point?
So your first question is how many we can manufacture in an hour. Our hourly ratio, you can only make a certain amount of mask holders, 3D printing them at I would say a daily ratio, because it takes longer for a 3D printer to print something like this rather than like printing, a stick. You know what I mean? So we can print about 10 to 15 a day if we were to accumulate for all of the resources available for us. For instance, the 3D printers at Luke's and at school. But another thing, or your second question was, how did we come up with that price point? Originally we wanted to sell them in packs, right? We wanted to sell 2 mask holders in a little pack and sell it for like $10 or $11. Well, we came back and we did our solution interviews and our problem interviews, and we figured out the customers actually didn't want that. They didn't want 2 mask holders. Rather, they would just want to buy 1 mask holder for $7. So there wouldn't be a reason for us to put them in packs of 2 and sell them for $12 or $11 whenever we can be selling just 1 for $7. So that's how we came up with that $7 price point, and that's the reason why we can only manufacture 10 to 15 a day.
Got it. So thank you for that. That's a really good example. Just something that I would think about for your future presentations then. It seems like you almost need a short, medium, and long-term strategy for distribution and manufacturing and price, to be honest with you. I think in the model that you have currently, based on being able to produce 10 to 15 of them a day, I think your price point is too low. I think you would need to have basically say, hey, at this manufacturing rate, the price point is going to be a little bit higher. And then as you start As your idea starts to take off and you start being able to manufacture, you might need different channels of manufacturing, because you could probably get these made by a manufacturer for pennies, right, overseas, different places like that. And so as you looked at your strategy of this is how I would launch versus this is where I would want to be in the long run, your price point would then come down as your manufacturing rates changed. But I thought you guys did a great job. I think you have a good idea, but just something to think about for future presentations. You might need a short, medium, and long-term manufacturing and pricing strategy.
Yeah, no. So I'm actually really glad that you brought that up. That's something that we talked to our mentor about, Ben Fisher, with short, medium, and long-term goals. And as time goes on, it would make sense for businesses to change. So I do get what you mean by we're gonna have to figure out how we manufacture this in like a year or two. But yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Great job.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, Mr. DeSalvo?
Okay, very good presentation. I echo what the first two advisors talked about. One of the things, and it's kind of goes through, is your presentation talks about targeting the hospitals. And obviously you see the need for that because that would be an ongoing need. My idea, and there's actually two people from UPMC on the panel with me. My experience is that you're going to have a hard time getting into an organization like UPMC with a starter product. Just my experience. I think what you have is a very viable product. And even though we're right at the moment in the pandemic and everybody's wearing masks, there are industries out there that are wearing a mask without a pandemic. So you have a product that has a long life to it. And you've got a very easy solution that is adaptable. And what I think you need to look at, again, following along with what Nick says, is that you've got to figure out how you're going to grow the business. Right now, you're saying that if you use both printers, you can make about 15. If your website goes live on Wednesday and you get 30 orders, you've hit the ground running. So not that you have to be ready to go today, but you need to have a plan in place to say, hey, if we start a lot better than we are, then where do we go? And that's a problem that's easily solved, but you got to be looking at it. To kind of piggyback on what Nick was also talking about, and it jumped off the page when you put your presentation up, your cost of goods sold versus your selling price, I think, is too narrow. Because my experience has always been there are costs in there that you don't think about today that will surface. And especially once you get rolling, not every one that comes out of the printer is going to be a sellable product. You're going to have a problem on something, and you've got to be able to incorporate that not only into your production plan, but into your cost model. But overall, I think you guys have done just a super job here. I'm very impressed by what I see and have heard.
All right, thank you, Mr. DeSalvo. Ms. Thorburn,
Mr. Costello, am I able to respond?
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Mr. DeSalvo, thank you for the feedback. I totally get what you mean. You kind of have to take it like you're gonna blow up in like the moment you go live, right? So you kind of have to take it to that certain extent. But currently, like, we just don't have and again, I think this is something that we'd have to go back and look into, but we just don't have like the certain resources to look into like mass productions of mask holders, right? So if we were to go and blow up and get 30, 40, 50 or whatever it may be orders of mask holders the moment it goes live, we definitely look and explore those options, right, for mass production of mask holders. But right now, I feel like if we were to do that, I think it were to kind of inflate the price, because we would have to pay more for the mass production of mask holders, if I may not be mistaken, instead of just producing it on our own, unless I may be wrong on that.
I'm not saying that you would set up an organization to handle that, but you need to have the plan in place and thought through to some point that says, okay, if this happens, this is what we're going to do. Sometimes more business is not as good as less business if you can't handle it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Linda, Ms. Warner?
Hi guys. Excellent job for sure. You did. I thought it was very smart. It's definitely a necessity. I'm gonna obviously follow up with some of these things, but what Mr. DeSalvo was saying as well, just for clarifying purposes, on Wednesday when your website goes live, are you saying that you're able to take orders immediately?
Yeah, so there's an option to pre-order mask holders, and you're not technically paying for it yet, but you're just putting in the order for us to be able to see that you actually want an order and where that may be coming from.
All right, perfect. So I'm just going to comment on that, and then I have a couple other things. So I would recommend, highly recommend, and this was what I talk to my clients on when they tell me they want to start an e-commerce store and then have nothing on the back end to support that. Watch The Big Bang Theory, where Penny decides she wants to make hair ties, and the guys are there all night long, and they're making those hair ties, and they're working 24 hours a day, and they finally get to the point. I have all of my clients watch that little segment that want to have an e-commerce store. Because that could be, really where you're at. Because once it goes on the internet, you have the ability, and the last thing you want to do is not have a plan in place for you to be able to fulfill those orders, because it'll hurt your reputation more than it'll help. So that's what I would say about that website for now. And then also sustainability of the product. And I think after hearing, these are just some of the notes, after hearing some of the comments you had for the other board of advisors, I think I got some clarification on that. But definitely I was listening to your presentation. It was really thinking through the next steps, like what does that look like? And for me with the actual presentation, I felt like it was in two separate spots. So I definitely heard the 15 to 24-year-olds, but then I also heard the hospital. And so for me, I would like to have a better, clear action plan on what that looks like for the next, steps with the with your presentations. And then I didn't really hear much about a marketing plan. I always go back to that marketing plan and thinking through, where does that advertising come from? Because of course, if you get into a Highmark or a UPMC or something, you're going to have a lot of orders all at one time. They're bulk. But if you do go towards that 15 to 24, like what does that look like as far as finances? Where are you going to be marketing? How are you going to be advertising? Is there going to be influencer marketing, or what that looks like? So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. And then for me as a person, how do you clean the case? Because if there's bacteria from it lying around, I'm sure the bacteria is going to get on the case just in general. So I'd like more information about that.
Yep. Okay. So to start out, the marketing behind it, and you're saying we kind of were talking about two different separate markets, going from 15 to 24, and then talking about the hospitals and the colleges, which is, I kind of agree with you on that. In our positioning statement, they gave us an outline, and it told us to write an age down. So that was just our age that we wanted to affiliate ourselves with at that given moment. But I totally agree with you. We would rather speak to hospitals rather than just rather sell to individuals, of course. But here, you're talking about the marketing and how we're going to even get our name out there, because as the other advisors, talked about, it's not very easy to get into a UPMC, right? So what we would do, we would originally just sell to our peers. I mean, selling in schools and selling just to our friends and our family would be a good start. And just getting our name out there in our own school district. We've talking to our coaches. Luke's talked to his swim coach and his band orchestrator or whatnot. And they both love the idea. And once we go live, they definitely want some orders in there for their teams. And like myself, I've spoken to my cross country coach, and this is something that they're very interested in and that they would be invested in for the team. So I think kind of proving that we can sell and to people of our age and to school districts first, maybe would be kind of a proving point for UPMC to jump on board with mask holders and us to get into UPMC, which is kind of that marketing aspect if you think about it, because that would lead to more sales, right? But we also launched a Twitter and an Instagram page just to get the URL, the account names, because no one had mask holders. So we actually have that account name, mask holders, right? So we don't have anything posted yet or anything, but that's just for the future. So we are setting ourselves up for a better position in the future. So whenever anyone looks up mask holders, we're the first option that pops up, right? So
that's what I wanted to hear. And then also my other comment is that, in my opinion, I think, again, the price point is just a little low. If you're thinking about, phone cases and things, $10, $20, this is something that's going to help them stay healthy. And so I would just recommend taking a look at your numbers and seeing profit is not a bad thing. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you brought up about like phone cases and stuff. Yeah, that's definitely something we'll look into. Thank you.
All right, nice. Is that it? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. Are you all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyler and Luke, real quick, just something that Linda just said really stuck out to me too. And I know I said, hey, having a timeline, but her Big Bang Theory example is really a great one. You guys should, I think you guys did a great job. I think you guys should look at a second channel of manufacturing and understanding what it would cost you to manufacture like 1,000 of these outside of 3D printing them. If you could have a proof point of a manufacturing, if it cost you $2,500 to manufacture 1,000 of them, and then you sold 1,000 of them like that on your website, you'd have a much different runway than saying, hey, we can print 10 of these a day. Because if you get 50 orders, if something happens to your printer, it breaks down, all of a sudden you're behind. You could have something here. I would just think of a different manufacturing channel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And hey, Nick, this is Christine. I agree. Just one other thing, just to close out with you guys. I think that's what you need to build into your ask, right? So part of what you go to for seed money is to think about that. So maybe your seed money includes reaching out to get 1,000 masks produced. The one other thing though, and Dominic made an excellent point, and we actually saw this, Nick and I both saw this as we went through the pandemic with Highmark. There are other areas and other sectors that use masks every day, engineering firms, construction sites. So it may not be, it's actually great advice from Dominic's perspective to look at another sector, because that's actually a way that you look at another viable customer segment that has a long-term use for masks outside of a pandemic. Right now, this is the crisis point for healthcare. But, as we look to procure masks early on in the pandemic, and the source for masks for us to supply our frontline staff actually came from construction firms. So just think about that. That was a really good point that he made to you guys.
Yeah, that's super interesting. We have to definitely look into that. That's that's something we definitely have to research into. But something that you guys brought up about like mass manufacturing and stuff. Yeah, I definitely think we should look to that for like a long-term goal. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Ben, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, all I keep thinking about is all this great feedback. Sounds like they're all going to be investors in your company, man. So that's really good. Those are all very good questions and responses that these guys had for you. And all it tells me is that we should just dive into this a little bit deeper, buddy. And it's called shine up and get that production line running, huh?
Big fish, man. I'm in. Let's get going.
I got
All
a couple of things that can help out with that. So good job, boys. I really proud of you guys.
Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job, boys. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Kyler. Excellent job. See ya. Okay. Whoops, so sorry. Next group up is the organizer. I do have a question for you guys. Do you guys want to flip or no? Or you still want to go third? You guys okay? You still going third? I just want to make sure everybody. All right, so organizer will just go next. So if you could turn on your cameras, those of you from the organizer team. Yes, I could, Mrs. Weir, yes, I will have them send your presentations, yes. That's okay, Ben. Thank you for staying as long as you could already. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, so Anna, Luke, and Josh are up next. This is the team with the organizer, and whenever you're ready, I'm going to mute myself. And you know what, Kyler, I need you, wait a minute. I need you to stop sharing your screen, buddy. I hope he didn't. Did you hear me, Kyler? Okay, thank you. All right, whenever you're ready, organizer.
All right, just give me a second. I'm just presenting the PowerPoint real quick, and then we'll start. Oh, sorry, the wrong button. Are you guys able to see this?
I can, yes.
All right.
Hi, my name is Anne-Mae Votsberger.
I'm Luke Plutz.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Josh, you're up.
Sorry, I'm back in.
That's okay.
Do you just want us to start over? It might be easier.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay.
That's
Hi, my name is Anne-Mae Votsberger.
I'm Luke Plutz.
And I'm Joshua Niedermeyer. Do you ever find yourself struggling to locate a suitable place for all of your belongings in your vehicle? A space with proper organization for things such as your phone, keys, chapstick, jewelry, loose change, chargers, wallet, and other personal belongings? This is a recurring problem for the three of us, and if you find yourself in a similar position as well, we have the perfect solution for you.
A car organizer that can hook right into the center console and provide a well, clean, and organized cabin. Something that provides a more efficient source of organization in your vehicle. And this product is also perfect for smaller items that tend to get lost because of a lack of a convenient compartment to put your item while you drive. This is a fully customizable tool that can help you and your vehicle stay organized.
This is what makes our product so unique compared to our competitors. We have removable dividers that can be altered to whatever works best for you and your family. You can use these compartments to store little items, or you can put cleaning products like Lysol wipes and hand sanitizer to clean any mess you or your little kids make. You can also use these to store masks so you don't lose them on your car floor, and it can prevent them from getting dirty. I know this invention will make your life 10 times easier and stop the hassle of looking for lost items. I hope you decide to invest in us today.
Hi. Our company's goal is to provide proper organization for our customers in order to establish a peace of mind. With that being said, when it comes to our problem, it is something that our customers should not have to worry about. The problem our company and our product is focused on is the struggle to keep a clean and organized vehicle. We all possess small items that we take with us everywhere, and it can be difficult at times to keep them from finding their way into small, unreachable places. For many, a convenient place for proper organization while driving is something that their vehicles lack. This is what our product helps to solve. Our solution, an organizer that fits securely onto the back of any vehicle's center console. We've included adjustable compartments to help customers design it the way that it works best for them. I will further explain the organizer in the video ahead. Most automobiles have proper organization for personal belongings, which lead to car owners losing or damaging their valuables. Do you ever find yourself struggling to locate a secure place for all your belongings in your vehicle? If so, we have the perfect solution for you. The Carganizer is an innovative product that is an easily installable car organizer. It is strategically designed to be a convenient tool for car owners' belongings. The Carganizer attaches to the back of the center console, as you can see here. It is held up by a small support beam and a securing strap. We've made it easy for the customer to customize the compartment size and structure. If you're struggling to keep your car organized, the Carganizer is a purchase that you will not regret. In addition to what was said in the video, our compartments are also removable for easy access to cleaning. I do apologize for not having a better visual for you all. Because of the complexity of our product, it has been difficult to create an adequate visual. But as you can see, this product solves our sole problem while still making it easy for our potential buyers to customize it to fit their life. With this product, we are mainly trying to reach mothers aged anywhere from 20 to 40 with young children. These would be our early adopters since most mothers have a busy life and do not have time to spare worrying about what's happening in their vehicle. This product is to help remove something off of their mental list of things to stress over.
And so let me just add on the slide. So for our future customers, we'll talk more into it later about the potential car manufacturing companies that I'm going to look into soon. But as of right now, our main target audience, or not target audience, our main target is just mainly mothers between that age range right there.
For our unique value proposition, our product is very convenient. We're dishwasher safe whenever kids might make the product dirty with sticky hands or spill something in it. It's also convenient placement. It's also foldable and has convenient storage. So if you have passengers, you can fold it up so that they could get in your car conveniently. For our TAM, we looked at the vehicles that were registered in the U.S., which was about 287.3 million vehicles just in the U.S. And then we broke it down again to vehicles registered in Pennsylvania, which was about 4.59 million cars registered in Pennsylvania. And then we broke it down even further and we did vehicles registered in Jefferson Hills, which was about 9,000. So just in Jefferson Hills alone, we have about 9,000 people that we could be marketing to. For our market test, while we were testing with our surveys, we saw that men and teenagers most likely wouldn't buy our product. So we started to focus on who would, which was moms that had younger kids. They said that they constantly had stuff with them and their kids constantly had stuff with them. So if they had a convenient place to put them, then that would help them out a little bit. For our surveys, we found that most moms have this product problem. Our pricing was pretty accurate. They said around where we wanted to price it and that this issue is constantly occurring for them.
Okay. And then for the financial model, for our product pricing, we did choose the penetration pricing because the majority of our closer competitors on like Amazon or eBay, they typically sell their organizers around $20. And so we are a little bit lower than they are, as you can see here. And I believe with that lower price, people are more likely just to pick our product over the other ones. And so just to manufacture our product, it will cost us $7.78, and we'll be selling it at $11.99. And so then for our projected revenue of our first year, we're expecting a little bit lower of $647 for the first year. And then after that, we do plan on increasing 50%, and then hopefully by the third year, increasing 150%. Which will put us around $2,428. And this is just another broken down example of to manufacture our product. So the Velcro, the hooks, the 3D printed plastic, which would be kind of like the frame of it. Zippers for pockets if you need them. And then you can see our total profit margin of $3.22. So for the minimum viable product, from our survey results, The smaller products is kind of more desirable, more convenient placement as well. And then 75% of the people we looked at and talked to said that this is what they would pay for it, around the kind of $11 in that range. So for our future plans, kind of based on these surveys, we do plan on redesigning our product a little bit, maybe changing some materials here and there to be cheaper and to better lasting, I guess. And also we are going to look at different locations to place our product. So if the center console doesn't work too well, maybe they can place it behind their seat or some other place in their vehicle. For future testing, we do plan on looking more into car manufacturing companies to try and include our product in their vehicles. And so then for our goals is to eventually enter an agreement with a car manufacturing company to include our product in every car that they produce. And then we'll earn a small fraction of that for everyone that they sell.
We hope that we can make your crazy life a little less crazy. Thank you.
All right, nice job, you guys. We can start in that same order again. So whenever you're ready, Ms. Haythorne, or not Haythorne, I'm sorry, Mrs. Weir, you can begin.
Yeah, so first off, just I think in general, as I've been with this program for several years, and I just think the groups are getting better and better and better every year. So obviously you guys are working with your mentors and getting feedback and taking that, and it's really showing up in just the way that you guys are presenting your ideas and as you're thinking through. And I would say too, I think some of the questions we're going to ask, we don't expect the financials to be perfect right now, right? This is an iterative process. That's all what innovation's about. So I think all in all, just a really good job. So I guess first couple of comments, I think you guys are onto a really nice, crisp, defined customer segment with moms in that target range. And I think you guys did a really good job at connecting back through some empathy mapping and some journeys to understand exactly what that looks like when a mom's in the car. And I've been there, by the way. My kids are older now, but I've been there where my car's been a complete mess. It's a little easier to contain now that they're not in it all the time with me. I do think one comment would be just to think about that age range. You guys have said 20 to 35. I actually think that, and this is something that you guys should think about as you crisp this up. I do think the problem to solve is you've identified a really nice customer segment attached to that problem statement. But I would say that your age may be a little off there. I think there are a lot of mothers with, young kids that are, getting close to 40s, right? So just maybe think about extending that age range out a little bit. Just as an FYI. I think the other piece of it too was I just was trying to understand as you guys were looking at your cost of goods and your projections for the first year, your cost of goods for you to produce is about $7. If I can't, I'm just being rough here. And then I think you guys were going to sell it for around 12. How many units are you proposing to sell in the first year? And then what's the channel for that distribution? And have you guys thought at all about some feedback we gave the group right prior to you would be if your idea takes off a lot, because when I looked at the amount of revenue you're projecting for the first year, what your cost of goods is, it looks to me like you're probably not projecting to sell a ton of them. And the only thing I'm going to say to you guys is you should always have a plan where the idea really takes off, right? So you almost want to have 3 levels of strategy. The strategy where you're starting with something truly MVP. You're going to distribute to a very small audience to try to get feedback and iterate your product. The second one would be a more midterm, like a little bit larger, but not blowing it out. But then you should always have a contingency plan for something that gets really rampantly adopted. And then, you can't fulfill what the customers want. So just some thoughts as you kind of think about that in terms of how to build your financial ask and what you want from your board of advisors would be to think in that lens, right? So biggest thing you could go after and then really small. But I guess going back to my original question is how many units are you thinking you'd sell in the first year? And what's your channel to acquire those customers? So you might have mentioned it, but I might have missed it just in listening.
So our first year, we were talking and we were thinking about just getting our product out there. And the way that we were going to do that is we found the most effective way with social media. So we thought about Facebook, and most people said, that they would like to see that advertisement on Facebook. And if they did, that it would catch their eye. So we're planning on just getting our product out there, probably selling around 15 by month 12.
So 15 total units by month 12. So you're thinking you'd sell one a month, about one a month?
Yeah, about one a month for our first year. Just trying to like get ourselves out there, get everything together, and maybe grow within the months after that. Really push it out to more social media, more like websites and stuff like that, advertising in more places as we actually build this business.
Okay.
Yeah, I will add in. I think we did actually plan on selling a little bit more than the 15 because when we were doing the math on some of it, I kind of figured we would sell a little more than that. And the reason why we also chose Facebook is because a lot of times, even like I mainly use Instagram, and I'll just be scrolling on Instagram, and then I'll see an ad pop up of something that I can relate to and something that I think, oh, I kind of need this, and then I'll just kind of buy it because it's not that much money. Not like a compulsive, like just buying stuff, but I think that's an super easy way for people to see our product and buy it. And also Facebook, it can be free advertisement. I know you can pay for advertisement there as well. I think it's just a reliable way for us to get our product out there and for people to see it.
In addition to that, Facebook is definitely our best resource to promote this because most mothers aren't on Instagram. I mean, there are a lot that are, but a lot of the older generation do have Facebook, especially the mothers. I feel like over the more new types of social media, that would be our best bet.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'll tap Linda to weigh in a little bit more on social media strategy. I will say though, Facebook and Instagram have sort of different ways in which they approach in advertising, right? Like in-app advertising things. And actually Instagram from that perspective, from what you guys are trying to do, tends to be one where they're introducing a lot of opportunities to purchase through a multi-level marketing approach. So just keep that in mind. I agree with you. Your target segment probably is active on Facebook, but I would say there's a growing demographic of mothers that are on Instagram too, because they're connected, right? So you can share on both. So I would just maybe think that through a little bit. The other thing too is if you guys are just trying to get some experience out with your product, you shouldn't maybe step away from a pilot thought where you try to develop maybe like a group of super users and kind of get them to, try it out, test it out. Because like 15 in a year is pretty small. And it sounds like you guys are still trying to nail down that number. But, I'll just caution you. And again, Linda can speak to this more than I could. But when you put things out there on the web and social media, you could really be careful what you wish for, right? The best thing that could happen, you guys, is that everybody's like, oh my God, I love it. And if you're not prepared to produce, what that does, for your reputation and your scale plans is really deleterious. But I don't disagree. Social media is a great approach. I would just get a little bit more crisp on those two channels, because while your demographic may be in Facebook, what you're describing in terms of in-app advertising and curating a shopping experience is actually much more an Instagram feature. So just probably think that through a little bit, but good job.
Thank you.
One thing that I wanted to say really quickly is when I said that we wanted to sell like 12 to 15, I meant by month 12, we want to be selling like 12 to 15 a month. So like growing it, like slowly growing it, if that makes sense. I just might not have said that the right way.
That's okay. Okay, thanks. That's helpful. Thank you.
Christina, did you just use deleterious in a sentence in this meeting? I mean, I'm from Woodland Hills. Do I have to go and start like looking up words? Sorry. So one, I wanted to tell you guys, you did a great job. For Anna and Joshua, life can throw things at you, and sometimes you can get flustered and other times you can just roll with it. Anna, I like that you were like, yeah, Josh isn't on. We're just starting all over again. Like, I know it might've seemed like a little thing, but that happens in business. That happens in, you could be on virtual meetings and trying to sell something to someone or having a big conversation, and you kind of just rolled with the punches. So nice job with that. Just from a sake of time, I'm not going to, get into too many questions. I would just say that what I would have liked to seen a little bit differently is the product. I know that I think it was Luke, you'd mentioned like, hey, because of the complexity of our product. But I like the video that you showed. I wish I would have just seen it, because even as you guys were describing it, I was just still trying to I was thinking about my car and trying to think about how it functioned. And so I think I would have liked to have seen something, even if it was just not the perfect thing, just something that was to more visualize it. I think that would have really helped me with your pitch. But I thought you guys did a good job. Like I said, I think Christina asked one of the questions that I had about financials. So just from a timing perspective, just wanted to say you guys did a nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, any questions, Mr. DeSalva or Ms. Haythorne? Because I know some of you are short on time, and I apologize. So we'll try to move a little quicker.
I just got one quick one. One, I think you guys did a great job in your presentation. Yeah, believe me, I've done enough of them. It's not easy to do it, and virtually it gets even worse. But how long have you figured out it's going to take you to make a unit?
So for us to, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So right now we're actually switching the way that our product is going to look. So we have been more focused on our new product more than the product that we just talked about. It's going to be the same thing and the same function, just a little bit smaller and a little bit more compacted because that's what people seemed like they wanted more. So we didn't really look on how much time it would take to make that big compartment for your console.
To add to what you just said, that's another reason why we don't have the best visual for the previous product, because we found a much more efficient, cost efficient, and just efficient in general for our customers, a better way to design this product, and we've been more focused on that. And we do have a better visual for that product. So yeah, that explains why we don't have the good visual for that one, because we've been a little more focused on our new one. Because
And I can understand that as you're developing the product, you're learning. As you learn, you're going to change. That's going to happen. This isn't the last time you're going to change your product. Trust me. But you always got to remember that, and again, you've heard this before, but you've got to figure out how many you can produce and how quick you can produce them, because going to market means that you're ready to sell. If you're not ready to sell, the worst thing you can do is go to market and not be able to produce. That's all I have. Good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think for me, I think you did a great job with your presentation. I won't take too much time, but I love the projections of the sales. I think that you could modify that a little bit better and just really put some more thought into that, because I think that if you are using those social media channels, Facebook, nice thing about Facebook and Instagram, Facebook bought Instagram, so you're cross-posting, so your followers are going to be different on each, right? So you are able to tailor those ads differently, but also it does open that big can of worms. So opening up on Facebook, putting it on the web, and again, I'm going to recommend that you watch the episode, and Lisa, Ms. Costello, maybe you can watch it in class one day. It's really funny episode. But it teaches you a lot, honestly, about learning and opening an online store. But I highly recommend it, and I send it to my clients all the time when they want to do that. I agree with the age range. I think that you're a little bit off the mark with the age range. I think, I'm in a downhill swing to 50, but a lot of my friends definitely have young children still, because career women had children in their 40s, at least in my generation. So I would definitely take a look at that. And again, I would just kind of revisit that rush of online sales and where you're marketing to. But I do believe and think that social media is going to be your best friend for that one, for sure. Especially targeting moms. They're on there all the godforsaken time. So
for the age range, we did project that it would be around 25 to 40, 20 to 40. But we weren't sure if that was going to be in our best interest to go that far, considering.
Yeah, I think I would stretch maybe to like 45-ish. 45, I think, would be a top number. There's a lot of moms out there that have their kids like late 30s, professional women that can afford the product, which I think would be very helpful. And I would also then take a look at your price point and just make sure that that's in line. Because was it $11.99? Yeah, I would also take a look at that price point. Again, I don't feel like profit is a bad thing. So even upping that a bit to the $19.99, $24.99, because the one thing you don't want to do online is you don't want to set your price low and then have to move up. That will hurt your reputation more than anything. If anything, you can always offer a discount or, discounts or promotions to get that number down, especially online. Consumers expect that for B2C. Everyone wants that coupon code. Not that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do that, but making sure that that number is at your top level of what you really want it to be, because once you kind of get into that B2C, that's something that you might want to consider to increase sales or bundling products for Christmas time, different things like that, especially on social media. And that will be catching video that people will see on Instagram and Facebook as well. So that would be my recommendation for that. Raise your price.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, then we'll just move right along. Nice job, boys and girls. Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Hey, Lisa, just real quick, for those of us that can't stay on past 2:30, I see that this is being recorded. Are you still going to want us to take a look at the recording and score the groups?
If you could, please. Yes, I didn't account for it lasting this long, and I apologize. I thought it actually would go a little faster. But yes, I can send those to you so that you could look over those last two.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, next group up is cup holder. I am going to be controlling this, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. No, wait.
Just present.
I am going to present for you.
Yes.
All right, so hold on. There we go. This is what I want to do. Okay.
You left the Google Meet.
No, I didn't. I just pulled it up over here on the other side. You need to talk nice and loud.
Can they hear me?
Can you hear him? You have to keep your mask on. Can everybody hear us?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Oh. Go ahead.
Just imagine cutting fresh big grass bright and early in the morning with a steaming cup of coffee. Why is this most important to you? Good morning. My name is Luke Regna, and I'm a part of Cutter Coaster, a company striving to fix problems within the beverage world. My business partners include myself, John McCann, Jimmy Passananti, and Angela Bologna. For many, it's a relaxing pastime, and others, it's a hobby of their own. For myself, it's a profession. As a young entrepreneur, I'm out weekly cutting grass nonstop. Usually, I find myself sweating and shredding for water, but walking to the truck takes time. Time is money. I always said to myself, it's just one sit. But that one sit builds up, and it can cost me a yard at the end of the day and completely ruin my schedule. A portable cup holder that could attach to a mower could fix these problems. Many big mowers, such as zero turns and walking behinds, have cup holders, but once the mower dies, so does the cup holder. These portable cup holders can be taken off and placed onto new mowers with just a twitch. In addition, 80% of Americans cut their own grass, and quite frankly, with push mowers. This product could be ideal for many household Americans. Our product is one of a kind, and it is made with American plastic. It will last a lifetime.
Start things off, I would just like to say thank you to everybody who is still joining us and who has previously joined us, from the mentors and the board of advisors. I'd especially like to highlight Mrs. Costello and our mentor, Mrs. Platniano, for all the hard work and devotion they've showed. So without further ado, I believe Luke is going to start us off.
So this is our About Us, John McCann, my other business partner. This is the board of directors. John McCann is our CEO. Myself, Luke Regna, is the Chief Marketing Officer. Angelo Volumino is the Chief Financing Officer. And Jimmy Casamenti is the Chief Operating Officer. For homeowners and landscapers who need to stay hydrated while cutting grass, the Almost Famous Coaster is the cup holder that keeps a drink by your side at all times, because time is always of the essence. So right here is the Almost Famous Coaster. This is our picture of our product. On our product, it includes a rubber clip jaw that clips onto surfaces and posts very tightly. The adjustable knob adjusts length and width of the posts and surface. And the automatic springs at the bottom adjusts to any type of can, plastic bottle, metal cups. And then also inside is a texturized liner that prevents cups from flying out while you're cutting grass.
The problem that me and my colleagues have found during this time is that, grass cutters and landscapers, they waste a lot of time, walking back to the truck or going to the front porch and getting a sip of water, or even worse, if you're a homeowner, taking your boots off and all the way in the house, and then sitting down in the cool air conditioning and getting a glass of water, which most likely when you do that, you're not going to want to go back out in the summer heat to cut grass again. So the solution that we came up for that is a portable cup holder that will then clip onto the side of your push lawnmower so that you can then store your drink, water, whatever you would like to put in there. So then it will allow you to take a drink while you're cutting the grass and saves you a bunch of time to walk to the truck or any other time-consuming activity you would like to get a drink. And then our next slide will be, this is our how-to explanation video.
My name is Luke Regna, the board member here at Cutter Coaster. Today I'm going to be demonstrating to you how to use the Cutter Coaster on lawnmowers. I'm demonstrating how the cup holder is used.
It's playing.
My nice cup of joe inside the cup holder. I'm going to adjust the tightness on the knob, and it's nice and secure and doesn't spill. Not only does it hold a nice cup of joe, but it also holds tall cans, small cans, and plastic. I urge you to invest in our simple yet effective product.
That's great, guys.
Okay. I'm getting there. Hold on. There we go.
So here's our competition. Really, our other competition we found is riding mowers, including a cup holder, of course. And then we could say some non-patented cup holders from Etsy. And we found that there weren't cup holders actually for lawnmowers. They tended to be for like baby strollers. So if you want to go as far as putting a baby stroller cup holder for your lawnmower, that could be a competitor too. Very nice. So here's our, audience. So we started out with 1.2 million people within Allegheny County, and we ended up dwindling that down to within our age range of ages 30 to 75. Within Allegheny County, with 555,000, and our share of market would end up being about 15,000 people within a 3-mile radius around Jefferson Hills within our age range. And our demographics of our average customer would be for homeowners and landscapers, all genders, live in the suburbs most likely, more than $50,000 a year of any job, and would like cookouts, going to Dick's Sporting Goods, Home Depot, and would be on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, those platforms.
All right. So uniqueness about our company is that it's only $20. It's very inexpensive. It is also a completely customizable. You can put your business logos on it, your initials, everything. But the greatness about this is it's not just for mowers. You can put this on strollers. You can put this on desks. Anything's of your liking. But you're getting more than what you're paying for, which is really down to the person. But it is one of a kind, and that's all we got to say about our unique value proposition.
All right. So in our minimal, or I wouldn't say minimal, we interviewed quite a few people for this, and we have found that there's a very large demand for it. And most people agree about $20 will be a good price And we'll get to later how we determine that that would be a beneficial price for both us and the consumer, as well as we have a large age range of between 30 and 75 years old. So really capturing a lot of the market. In addition, this is the breakdown of our cost. It has cost us $5.50 to produce it. And we also have $2 that we pay per sticker that we add on that says our name and any customization that we would like. And we're going to sell it for $19.99. So therefore, we have a profit margin of $12.49. That is if we do not take into account any other costs, which I assume there will be some, but these are the main costs. Also, we went light on the numbers. This obviously could differentiate depending on circumstances. However, we said 5 during the winter and fall and 20 during the spring and summer of our first year. But like I said, this can change depending on circumstances. And then the MVP, some commonly asked questions is, can the drink stay in the holder? And as seen by our video, yes, it can. It's very stable because you can see this. There's a textured lining inside, and it has these springs. So it's very stable within the cup holder. In addition, how long will it last? It is made out of very stable, thick plastic. So we're estimating for quite a few years, probably about 5 to 10. And in addition, the clamp is very sturdy. It has rubber molding within it, and you can tighten it down and clamp it to the side, so it will stay very secure on your lawnmower. And then this is the breakdown of our BMC.
Oops.
And now that's the first page. We can take questions now.
All right, nice job. Okay, any questions? You could go ahead and begin.
Real
Well,
quick,
Miss-
I'm gonna walk up to the camera and show you a close up, just because it's a little bit different of the cup holder. So it's kind of open at the bottom. The springs are in the inside, and you can see through the camera the texture. And here's the clip on the side. You just unwheel this, and the clip sends out. You can attach to any kind of wick and post or surface.
Okay, so Mr. DeSalvo, I want to start there because Christina and Nick had to jump out.
Okay, very good presentation. Excellent. My first question is that a finished product that I'm looking at on the table?
Yes, it is.
And how-
Our finished product.
How did you make it?
We actually were getting a non-patented product from somewhere else and assembling it, and this is what we landed on. So this is a Chinese-made, non-patented object where we are assembling it ourselves and then repackaging it and using it for using it in a different purpose.
Okay, so you've adapted somebody else's product to make your product.
Correct, and we already checked copyright and everything, and we are good to go. This is not patented.
So how many of those can you produce in a day or a week?
We can order large amounts very quickly. It can be found on many of the international shipping sites. So within a month, we can get in huge volumes of orders of thousands of them if we needed to.
Okay, then how are you planning on starting to market this? I saw the areas that you're approaching. How are you going to market to those people?
Yeah, first we want to really hit on social media. I know since we're relatively younger, we're very good at social media. So therefore, we can really attack that market. In addition, we want to put this on Amazon. We think that that will be very good since there's such a high volume on Amazon. Yes, they will take a portion of the price. However, it's still such a valuable market. In addition, down the road, we are hopeful to start our own website.
Another place we're going to market at is if anybody's aware of Jefferson Lawn Equipment and Dobosh Lawn Equipment. We hope we can actually advertise in those places and put flyers up or even prototypes of the cup holder and let people look at them and see if they want to buy it or not.
I don't know if it was an audio problem or your cost of goods is how much?
It's $5.50, and then we also have an additional $2, I believe, for the sticker, which we hope to get the sticker price down some more, but that's how we add our logo on it.
And you're planning on selling it for?
$20.
Okay.
So therefore, $12.50 essentially.
Very good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else in the, have questions for this group? No other questions? Okay, nice job, you guys. Thank you very much. Good job. All right, the last group up. Nice job. Last group up. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen. That would be Chris, and Ian. Okay, you guys, who's sharing the screen whenever you're ready? Okay. I'm going to mute myself now that we're switching back over to everybody home and virtual, and whenever you're ready, you can begin, okay?
I'm gonna go into like presenter mode once we after we do our elevator pitch, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. I think we're ready to go. So let's say it's been a really stressful day. You have 3 exams, hours of assignments, and you're just trying to find balance. You have no energy to do what you want. You're in college. Or imagine, maybe you're past that stage. You're an adult working in the field, struggling with that same difficulty, trying to find energy to do the things you love. See, we all have a dream, but we need help achieving it.
Hey, I'm Chris Pham, and along with my colleagues Ada Mohedin and Ian Carroll, we propose a drink our competitors don't have. Our competitor drinks contain unhealthy additives such as ginseng, taurine, and glucuronolactone, all of which have proven to cause many potential health risks. Our product will contain none of these.
Instead of being pumped with chemicals and unhealthy amounts of sugar, our drink will have natural, healthy ingredients and none of this disgusting sugar. Instead, we'll use stevia, a sugar-free substitute that will make our drink taste great. We'll also use cacao, which is a natural, healthy source of energy. So if you want to be a healthier, more energetic person, investing in our drink is a must.
All right, I think we're good to go whenever it loads. All right, our business is Natty RNG, stands for Natural Energy. I'm the CEO, Aiden is the CFO, and Chris is the CTO. Our problem is there are tired teenagers and young adults globally, specifically America, and there is a lack of healthy and natural solutions for us. Our goal is to find a healthy energy alternative for tired people. And then, oh, sorry, I think I clicked forward too far. Yeah.
Okay, so we all know energy drinks can have a bad reputation. A lot of studies have shown that they can cause increased heart rate and high blood pressure. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want any of that. With energy, we wanted to create a healthier view on energy drinks. Our goal is to create a drink that excluded harmful ingredients while providing the energy our customers need.
All right, so basically what our drink includes that is different from our competitors. We have cacao, which is a natural energy source. We have a sugar-free substitute, stevia, which is also from a natural plant. It's derived from the stevia plant. It's naturally flavored, and we remove these unnatural chemical additives such as ginseng, taurine, and glucuronolactone. And what we found from our problem and solution interviews is that our target demographics seem to be around the 16 to 24-year-old range.
specifically young women are becoming more cautious of their health. They care a lot more. Men are also becoming too, but it's leaning towards women more like a 60-40 split. And because of this, we're leaning towards a younger demographic and specifically young women.
Don't touch that.
This is our demo video. It has like a producer tag at the beginning of it because it's licensed from a creator and you have to give credit to them.
Don't touch that mouse. You're watching Bad News Channel.
First, we have our ingredients: water, stevia, and cacao. Stevia is a sugar-free sweetener with less calories and carbs. Because of this, it is also known to help people maintain diets as well. Cacao is a natural substance that contains caffeine, which promotes energy, and theobromine, which is believed to lower risks of cardiovascular disease. In this clip, the ingredients are being mixed together, and this is potentially what our product would look like. Our demo is blue raspberry, but that is just one of the many directions we could take the drink in. Many competitors like GP will have a wide variety of flavors and colors available to purchase.
Don't touch that.
Alright, so now we're going to move on to competitors.
So for our competitors, there's already a lot of energy drinks that are very popular in the market at the moment. Right now, the major three are Red Bull, Bang, and Monster. And as you can see, their price points right now, they're very similar with ours, which is going to be $250, which we'll talk about later on. But it's going to be slightly more expensive because of the quality of our ingredients rather than the cheap ones they use. For example, these use taurine and glucuronolactone, which are all very unnatural. They don't exist in nature, and they're very bad for the heart. Like, there's even a label from the FDA that you can only drink one of these a day. You can have heart problems. And also ginseng, which is natural, it's a root. However, it also causes heart problems and like increased blood flow, which isn't good for the heart. And on to the next slide. So these are the ingredients that we'll be using. So, and our unique value proposition is because of these ingredients. So instead of using that ginseng and taurine, which are shown in the images, which are man-made products, except for ginseng, which hurt your heart, and also there's shows of like statistics where brain function is actually ruined. So instead, we'll use stevia, which will help make the drink taste better without the additional calories and the effects of sugar. And cacao, which is shown in the picture, is just a natural fruit, which actually, when unprocessed, as many of you might think that cacao is from chocolate, like cocoa. However, cacao is actually, when not processed, is just a normal fruit that has a lot of caffeine, which caffeine may be considered bad, but without caffeine, you don't have an energy drink. But caffeine on its own is not that bad health-wise. And with the new up-and-coming generation showing more knowledge of health, clearly these better natural ingredients that won't lead to that discomfort that ginseng, taurine, and glucuronolactone cause, that cacao is clearly a better source for this energy. That's what makes our product unique.
Just to add one thing to that, the often occurrence whenever you have like these drinks like Monster and Red Bull, you get a spike of energy, but then you get a crash. That's one thing our drink will not have because we're not giving you this insane amount of like 70 grams of sugar some of them have. It's natural, no sugar, so this crash does not result. Now I'll move to our targeted customer segments. We have two bases. Basically, the you're kind of like sophomore through senior high schoolers, and then you kind of have your college students. They have a lot of things in similar. They're very busy people. They're very tired because they have to wake up early and sometimes work later than they'd like. Now with college student, obviously you have more freedom associated with that. They're more independent, and high school students are maybe less knowledgeable, but as time goes on, obviously we have the internet. People are all becoming more knowledgeable about their health. Now for our total addressable market, we have 186,988,109 people. This is 60.6% of the US. It excludes the demographic of 45 plus because in our problem interviews, we I believe out of around 12 people in the 60 plus demographic, we had one person show interest. And then in the 45 to 60, we had around 3 out of 17. It's just not, it doesn't seem a very attainable market for us. And then for our SAM, we have 30,672,088. This is that it's from the same population number reduced to the demographic of 18 to 24-year-old. And then for our share of market, we have 56,953. For this, it's a slightly different age group because we're adapting numbers from the census to a Pittsburgh demographic. So there's different age groups. So that's why the age demographic is slightly different. But we took that same round age group and applied it to Pittsburgh.
All right, marketing. So one of the ways we plan on marketing our product is using social media. One of our main focus groups is younger adults, specifically 16 through 24-year-olds. Some of the more popular social media sites for this age group is Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Now, we also wanted ways to get customer feedback using surveys, and we wanted to achieve this using Google Forms. We wanted to send out surveys asking about our product to get feedback.
So for our MVP, we want to create a prototype because at the moment we can't due to the lack of money we have. So actually, Mr. Fisher, he gave us the Pittsburgh Juice Company as like an opportunity to see how we could make the drink. And we found it's actually a lot more expensive to like mass produce the drink than we would like originally thought. So we think that if we can find money to produce this, we can make prototypes to figure out if the taste is good enough for people to give us feedback and see if the ingredient quality actually matters to them. So with a little bit of money, we can actually create this product to make sure the taste is viable. And then for our finances, our cost of goods sold for the individual cans is at a base 64 cents, but this could go all the way up until $1 with different ingredient amounts. And for a 12-pack, because we believe people, if they, instead of buying just one can, they'll think about buying like a mass, so like a 12 can pack. That would cost roughly $8.68, but it could go up to $10.20 roughly. And then we want to have like at least about 150% markup at worst case scenario. So around $2.50 for individuals and $25 for the 12-pack. And on like a kind of optimistic hope for our first year revenue, we're hoping to get around $13,525 by selling 990 single units and 445 12-packs. This would be roughly around $640 for the cost of goods sold for the singles and $38.63 for 12-packs, plus or minus $1,500 for like getting the cost of the production and actually advertising. And this is for like the future goals. So that's already showing the year 1, which was on the previous slide. But for year 2 and year 3, we think we can expand upon our basic idea of just individual and 12-packs by actually adding a subscription base, which could increase our growth and even more than it actually shows in the table. But this is just showing that with increased knowledge of our brand and company, we can actually just have general growth on the already existing options for purchase.
Now this was our just projection for like maybe how much money we would potentially need to make our idea a reality. We were projecting around $1,000 to $1,500 for a few reasons. One of them is the manufacturing costs that we still need to determine because we need to find a good source. We have all of the ingredients calculated. We approximate around $200 for flavoring purposes because we have to get a test trial, which costs around $70 for 12 different flavors. And then from that, we can determine what works, what tastes good, what do people like. And then we can purchase a bigger quantity of that 1 or 2 or 3, however many flavors that does end up being. Also, we want to advertise on social media, like we said prior. Things like Instagram, especially TikTok, is very good nowadays because our age demographic is always on there. And yeah. anything to add, guys?
Thank you for listening to our pitch, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, if any questions, please ask.
Okay, if there are any questions for the team.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay.
Quickly though, very good job, and it's a good product. I can understand why you went that way. I see it as a viable future product out there. My question is, have you set up a prototype of this and actually tried it? Have you put a drink together and started to sample what it tastes like?
Yeah, I'll answer this one question. Basically, what we have done thus far is taken the ingredients that we have, so like the stevia and the cacao, and applied it to an already existing drink to determine if it works well with that, because we do not have the additional flavoring that we need, say like flavors that we've entertained or like something like a watermelon or a blue raspberry. Since we do not have our own flavors of that, we've taken pre-existing ones and tried to see how it works together.
And how did you do that?
Basically, we applied like stevia and the cacao in like a drink that already exists. So it's a rough idea, kind of like mixing it together, because it already has like that the flavoring from another drink. So it is sort of like a medley though, so it's a rough idea.
Also, to add on to that, cacao actually doesn't have like a very distinct taste. Like if you add it to anything, you could barely even tell if it's in there. So that actually helps in like producing the taste. We just have to like actually buy flavorings or produce our own.
Where would you produce this?
That's where we learned from the Pittsburgh Juice Company. They have these like big processors that you can purchase that are actually able to make like large quantities of drinks through like a juicing and blender machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And in your finances, you've taken that into consideration?
Yeah. So basically, that's considered into our like around $1,500 for the original startup, and that includes like because like the actual buying of this machine could cost roughly from like $500 to $1,000 if we want a large scale one to make like enough drinks for like a big influx of customers. And also with advertisement, that's included in the startup cost.
Yeah, the actual ingredient components themselves should be under $250. That's including cans, the flavoring, stevia, cacao.
And you've done the research on what the price of the cans and all that is?
We have the price of like aluminum cans. The one thing that we do need to figure out how to do is kind of like to make them CO2 compressed, so you have the carbonation. Besides that, we have determined the pricing for that stuff.
And how do you plan to distribute these?
We were so a few ideas we had, or a website. The goal would be to try to get it, like to pitch it to a store. That's obviously very difficult to get shelf space in stores. We know that. So we could put it through social media as well.
Okay, I ordered it on social media. How do you get it to me?
We could ship it through like the mail, or like deliver in the local area if we're testing it out among like just local people we know.
Is that built into your cost model, the delivery?
We would factor an additional $2 for that, just because we don't have that website developed yet. We haven't factored that into the cost yet, but that would be an
cost of goods sold. We had roughly per can to be 60 to roughly $1, because 60 is the base. Like with our original assumptions, we gave like a 40-cent discrepancy for like things like delivery and production costs that we didn't take into account.
Yeah, because if you're going to sell a 12-pack, I can tell you that if you're going to use any kind of delivery service, it's going to be expensive.
Definitely.
Okay, good product though. I like your idea.
All right, thank you, Mr. DeSalvo. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Mrs. Barone, you have any questions or any feedback for your team? Hi.
No, I'm just really proud of you guys. I think there's definitely some good feedback from Mr. DeSalvo that we can take into consideration and like move forward with. So thank you, Mr. DeSalvo. But yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah, nice job. All right, gang. The only person that I would like to stay in for a minute is Mr. DeSalvo, but I want to thank you boys and Alex and the rest of the mentors had to jump out. Everybody, this lasted a little longer than I anticipated, and I apologize for that. I thought it was going to actually go a little bit quicker, but you did a fantastic job, and thank you for hanging in there with me and with the kids. So I appreciate it. Bye, you guys. Nice job. See you Wednesday.
Yeah.
Mr. DeSalvo, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm really sorry this lasted as long as it did. I apologize.
No problem.
If we have to do it again, I know it's a lot for a little more time. I thought it was going to go a lot quicker because a lot of the meetings I've been in, everybody's like very quick, and so I kind of found fast at that. You know what I mean? So I'm learning.
Well, and you can't control what the panel's going to ask.
Right.
So, I mean, that's where, their presentations all seem to be pretty much the same. It's just the amount of questions that we ask.
Yeah. So, if you would, if you can, you don't have to like print out that paper, but if you just want to write, down, you can take a picture of it and send it to me if you'd rather, however you want to do it.
I'll just scan it in and email it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much again. And while I have you here, I would like, what is your schedule like for in the next 2 weeks to go over financials with them?
I should be able to juggle around. If we'll work out a date that works. Just let me know.
All right, I'll email you. I'll email you because the next 2 weeks we're only going to see them twice a week, and that's it. Just because of President's Day and
everything else.
Yeah, and our in-service and all this, I'll only see them twice for probably 3 weeks in a row. So 6 times in 3 weeks. That's it.
Yeah. Just send me something, and then we'll work it out one way or another. Okay.
All right. Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You take care. Be safe.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.